All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Ep.8 podcast, the actual last episode of this summer season before the official season launches the following week.
And I'm so honored.
I know. Thank you so much. And you know what? It's so awesome because the season starts off in Mexico and we're...
In Mexico?
Yeah. I just have to tell you something.
Okay.
Put your mic a little closer.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's my first podcast, so.
Oh, yeah. This is her first podcast. Well, let me introduce her, everybody. This is Melissa. She's one of my coworkers. We're out here in Mazatlan, currently celebrating life and living it up. If we look like crap, it's because we had fun last night.
Yeah, there's a reason.
There's a reason. But I actually wanted to bring on Melissa because she has an interesting story. Además de que no es mexicana.
No.
¿De dónde eres?
Soy cubana.
Oh, did you hear that accent? I love when she talks in Spanish because obviously I don't have a lot of Cuban friends, but Melissa.
Yeah. La única.
La única. But Melissa, talk to me because you came from Cuba a los cuántos años?
Tenía como un año cuando llegué. No, bueno, cumplí el año en Nicaragua y eso es cuando pasó 9/11.
Yeah.
Y tuvimos que estar ahí. Wait, do you want me to say it in Spanish?
Yeah, you can say it in Spanish, you can say it in English.
Okay, might be a mix. Pero tuvimos que estar ahí escondiéndolos porque pasó 9/11 y security en los aeropuertos se cerró y era como, no podía porque yo vine ilegal.
Oh, okay, wait.
Pero ya soy legal. Entonces, no llame al ICE.
Yeah, don't come after her.
Yeah.
But wait, I have a question. So you were born in Cuba, and then at what age did you come? You went to Nicaragua first.
Yeah, so I turned 1 in Nicaragua.
And then
when I got here, I was like almost 2 maybe.
Oh, dang. So,
so
one whole year in Nicaragua,
yes.
basically?
My dad had to get a job out there just to make money so we can buy food for us and for me.
If people are walking by in the background, it's because, they're waking up right now.
Yeah, from the lit party we had.
We'll talk about it in a bit. But it's so interesting because you obviously hear migration stories going from Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Colombia, all the way into the United States. Mm-hmm. But one that is not really highlighted on the West Coast because, let's face it, like Cuba is on the East Coast, is the Cuban culture.
Yes.
So how is it? Do you still have family in Cuba? How do you communicate? Have you gone back? There's so many questions.
Yeah.
I mean, you just hear stories. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So I do have family in Cuba. I have my dad's side. So my grandpa and my grandma. And that's really it. Everyone else is more like not immediate family, but like friends and,
Yeah.
like second family. But family, just my grandma and grandpa from my dad's side. But then everyone else we all came here together. So.
Is there a misconception that the United States people have of Cubans?
There probably is, but I don't know. I would say people just say that we talk really fast. We drink a lot of coffee, but these are all very true.
Yeah.
So.
What about the Cuban cigars? Do you smoke a lot?
Oh, no, I've never smoked a Cuban cigar.
No?
No.
What about your dad or your tios?
My tios and cousins do. But it's like, if it's a party, it's not like an everyday thing. But that is a big thing in Cuba, is Cuban cigars. Yeah. And rum.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. One of the things that I wanted to ask is because obviously, when did you move to Cali? Well, at 2, right? That's when you guys were
around that age. I don't remember.
So you grew up with mainly like Mexicans around. How different was that culture?
It was so. I remember my first like culture shock with like a different Spanish was popote.
Oh yeah.
When we like went out to eat and then they were like, "Oh, do you want a popote?" And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, kind of offended. I was like, "I don't know. Do I want a popote?" I didn't know what it was. But so we say absorbente.
Absorbente.
So yeah. So I was like.
What other words trip you out that nosotros los mexicanos decimos? I don't know. Like, I mean, un camión. Do you guys say camión?
Camión, sí, camioneta. Yeah.
There's a lot.
We say something that my neighbor, because she has a lot of trees, and I would always, we call them matas.
Oh.
And it's arbor.
Arbor. Yeah.
like other.
Well, for Mexicans. Yeah. What about the food?
Yeah, there's no none of this food in Cuba. There's barely food in Cuba, so any food is like shock. But I love tacos. I don't know if that's like a
oh no, I mean I don't know if that's a Cuban thing.
No, tacos. No.
There's no tortillas.
I mean, there's tortillas, but
like
not.
People don't put meat on it.
Thing.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's not like me voy a comer una tortilla. Like, no, es arroz moro, puerco, lechón, plátano frito, plátano maduro. Those are like,
Those are actual Cuban. Okay, that is awesome. Is there a good Cuban restaurant in LA? Or is like, no, my mom and my grandma make that food.
I feel like at home food is the best Cuban food I've had.
Of
like
course.
No restaurant lives up to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Have you been back?
Yeah. So when I was around like 10 or 12, I went back. And it was like the biggest culture shock ever because obviously like I was born there, but I didn't really live there. So when I went back, I remember, this is like something I'll always remember. My cousin, we had brought the little like Hershey's Kisses, like the chocolates, because they don't have that, and she's obsessed with those. And so on the ride, like we got off the airport, whatever, and we went on the car, and I was like, oh, let's eat like, you know, the Kisses. So we're eating it, and then she throws the wrapper out the window, and I'm like, you can't do that. Like the police is gonna stop. Like that's a ticket. And she's like, really? What?
In Cuba or?
No, I was telling her that. So I was like, don't throw the wrapper out. Like you're gonna get a ticket. And she looked at me. She took my wrapper. She threw it out the window, and I was like, and I looked at my mom, and mom was like, that's not illegal here. And I was like, oh my God, like there's no laws, like it's just so different. So I was like,
dang. Okay, but that's one of the things that I've always wondered, because they say, oye, ya cuando te sales de Cuba, you cannot go back in. How were you able to go back to Cuba and with your family?
Yeah.
Did you have to like fly from Mexico? Well, I don't know. How does that work?
No, so I became a citizen. And for me to go back to Cuba, since I was born there, it also depends what year you left. So it's like different in how you left. Like I know my cousins left on a boat and in a certain year. So they have to do a whole different like regimen to get in. But me, I just needed my citizenship here and my Cuban passport over there. So I need my Cuban passport and my American passport to go in and out. If not, I'm stuck.
Oh, okay. But did you fly from Miami?
So I flew from LA to Miami and then Miami to Cuba. Yeah. There wasn't direct flights when I went. So
because I've always heard that you had to fly if you wanted to go to Cuba to Mexico, and then from Mexico, because there was no flights from the U.S. to Cuba.
Well, that depends the time of year, but it's usually either LA to Mexico, Mexico to Cuba, or LA to Miami, Miami to Cuba.
You're like, Miami's a lot more open.
Yeah, Miami is like Cuba on a different level.
Little Havana. Little Havana. And have you decided or planned to go back? Or
yes, I really want to go back, but a passport's like $500. So.
Wait, a Cuban passport?
Yeah.
So you need both of them. You can't just go with your United States passport. Not even if you went from Mexico to Cuba?
No.
Or is it because you're a Cuban citizen?
It's because I'm a Cuban citizen.
How will they know?
It's on
How will you know?
They're not going to know. It's on my passport. So it says born in Cuba.
Oh, on your actual U.S. passport?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I'm sure yours says where you're born.
United States.
Yeah. Well, mine doesn't say that.
I mean, I don't know. It's not something that I've paid attention to, but that's very interesting. I didn't know that the passports say where you're born.
Yeah. So once you show it to them and they see, oh, you're a Cuban citizen, they're gonna, where's your Cuban passport? And then I'll be like, in the embassy, I haven't got it.
Oh, okay. Are there any stories that your parents tell you that you're just like, wow, their life? Obviously, we hear stories in the media, we see stories on social media, but your parents actually lived there.
Yeah. So it's just, there's so many stories, and I don't want to like butcher them. But like one that they told me that was like really crazy to me, and I think I told you it once. So my grandma had two kids, and in Cuba, like if you're a guy, you'll go to the military, or like after a certain age, and she didn't want her kids to go to the military because usually like it doesn't go good or they don't come back, you know. And so what she did was she put them in a psychiatric hospital.
Wow.
And like they faked their
disorder,
what they had. Yeah. So they have different levels there, and then when they go in, it's kind of like jail cells, so you can see like the next level of like people that have a different, you know. And my uncle said that one time there was like a guy had passed away and his body was just there, and this other guy told him like, oh, like you have to have sex with him and he, or like we'll kill you. So
oh my God, so your
my
uncle
uncle saw, no, he wasn't the guy, but he saw it happen, and he saw like they forced this other guy to have sex with the dead body because they didn't want to kill him. And then it's like a crazy,
I know, but that's so traumatizing.
Movie.
Yeah, no, definitely, because you know, the love of a mother to try to save their child from possibly getting killed with the Cuban military.
Yeah.
But then the trauma that your uncle must have being around so many people with actual conditions, like I'd be going crazy in a jail cell.
I know.
Like, wait, are both your uncles now in the United States?
Yeah, now they live here, yeah.
How were they able to leave? Like the psychiatric home?
I think it's like after an age you could leave, or it was just so they wouldn't be enrolled into the military. Because I think it's like when you're out of, I don't know if high school is different there. It's like a different age thing, but yeah. But yeah. And then he would, like, they would give him pills and he would have to like pretend to take them because obviously he didn't need the pills. He was just there to not be enrolled. So that was like a really crazy story. And there's so many more.
I bet. And I just love learning about culture, learning about different people's history and backgrounds, because when you see somebody and you meet them, obviously, sin querer queriendo, you're judging by the way they look, but then they have this whole story behind.
Yeah,
and the misconception that a lot of, I mean, I know I had, it's like, oh, Cubans, for the most part, they come from Cuba. They're in Miami. They're hardly ever in LA. And they're hardworking and the harder workers, but then it's like, well, they have all this trauma that it's like they had nothing, so of course they're going to push themselves to become something.
Obviously it depends like on the person as well, like not everyone's the same, because I know like other stories where Cubans just like get fake married to come here, and it's like, but that's like any, you know, not just Cubans.
Or do you know of stories where people came on a boat and probably didn't make it?
I don't know if they didn't make it, but my uncle and my aunt and my cousins all came on a boat.
Wow.
And to Miami. They didn't come to LA.
Of course.
And
how was that?
It had to be at night. It had to be, and then when you get there to the coast, you have to turn yourself in and say, I'm Cuban, like I'm turning myself in.
To the coast of Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, I've always wanted... It's because that must be so hard, because you're escaping a country that doesn't allow you to leave. And then you're getting on a boat on a... I don't even know if it's a boat or it's a raft. No, it's not even
it's a raft, essentially,
and then, like, how do you know which way it's going? Because
you just gotta take the risk, really,
That, I've been at sea on a boat, and then I've been at sea... and where I've swam, and I'm like, I cannot imagine just seeing nothing, and how do I know I'm going on?
Hoping that you'll make it, It's like a movie. It's crazy, but...
I'm like, Wilson! Like, that's how I'd go crazy.
Yeah, no, and I'm scared of the ocean, so...
You're like, that wouldn't have been me.
No, I don't know. I mean, if I was young, I wouldn't know. But, like, now, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I always think, like, how did my parents, like, how are they not scared? Like, not knowing English, first of all, like, that's a whole different barrier. Yeah. So, it's just, like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I had that will. And so, I mean, they just had to be, like, super desperate. Like, that's how bad the situation was. So. Dang.
I mean, I think that's a huge, like, immigrant story. Like, we hear the immigrant stories from Mexicans, Salvadorians escaping asylum from, like, Venezuela y todo eso. But then we forget about the Cuban side, too, where it's sort of... Like, they're not walking, because I feel like...
No, we can't walk.
No, exactly. But, like, from Guatemala, Salvador, Mexico, you pretty much just say, I have to go north. And even though... Dale, right? And, yes, there's heat extremities. There is a lot of racism going on, too. And then there's, funny enough, you know, the U.S. blocks the border to Mexicans. Mexico will do the same to Central Americans. And it's like, bro, double standards? Come on. But anyways, they just got to go north.
Yeah.
Y'all, it's like... wherever the waves take us. And if we make it... And what about sharks?
Yeah, well, it's the Caribbean, so
Oh, there's no sharks. Wait, I could have sworn
there
white.
probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but it's like warm water. It's not like the LA super cold.
That's true. But dang. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to change up the subject right now because we are definitely
too
in
depressing.
Mexico. I know. No, but it was good because I want
yeah, people need to know.
Yeah, people need to know. Mexico, is this your first time here?
Not in Mexico, but in Mazatlan. Oh, I can't say that word.
Mazatlan.
No.
Oh, now we're going to have to
shot.
say it. Oh, after
Mazatlan.
a shot. Get her a shot, everybody.
Stephanie. Just kidding.
Mazatlan. But it's your first time here. How do you like it?
Oh my gosh, I'm in love.
Really?
Yes,
Why?
I love it.
What's so beautiful about it, or what's so amazing about it? I want to know.
It's just like a vibe. Like, first of all, this is like, I love the humidity because it reminds me of Cuba or like Miami or like vacation. So when it's humid, I'm like vacation.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, it's weird, but I love.
And can I just say, like, this girl over here drinks tequila like if it was water, and she will not get drunk. And I'm like, man, obviously we have to mention that she's 21, so her liver's still good and whatnot. But with a beer and a half and a shot, I'm like, woo!
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I fell. Yeah, we're gonna have to post that video because, okay, what was going on? What was happening during that time?
Okay, so I don't even remember, but we were all like having a good time, whatever. It was shot o'clock, so I had the bottle, and I think I took a shot, and then I was pouring your shot, and you like did a straddle, and then you just like kept gliding and eventually fell. And that video is so funny. If you post it.
No, I will, because then Luisa, which is another friend that's here, she tried to help me up, and obviously like I weigh way more than she can lift or bench.
Yeah,
and
poor Lisa.
she ended up just falling on the floor as well.
And she was recording, so she had her phone, and then when she fell, her phone fell. And then everyone was on the floor. Yeah. And then when she picked up her phone, it's just all of us like looking at her phone. And it's the funniest video.
We're going to have to post it because we're just explaining it. And you're just like, what is going on?
Yeah, you have to watch it. And then you can hear everyone screaming.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
One thing that I wanted to touch on with you, because we are having fun in Mazatlan, so that means we got to go and, shot o'clock. And we're about to go to the beach. Yes. But I want to talk about red flags. What are some of red flags that you see and that will be like, dang, that's a turn off, or get out, run, Melissa, or women, run?
Oh, well, usually if they just breathe, that's like, just
if they have a
they're
penis,
alive. Yeah, that too.
They
have a penis, walk away. It's just not a good. Okay, but a real red flag, I would say like not committing to something you say, because it's very like, oh yeah, like I agree, let's do this, and then like the time comes. And it doesn't happen. Okay. And that's like, why? Well, I mean, because maybe I'm also like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So, I don't know. That's maybe my thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no. If they take too long responding to a text, is that a red flag? I'm just going to throw out what my traumas are. And I'm like, are these red flags?
Yeah, let's compare our traumas. Yeah. That could be, okay. If they take too long to respond, but they post on like social media, red flag. Because like you can post on like Instagram, but you can't reply to a message. It takes 2 seconds. But it takes longer to post than to reply to a text, I feel. Because you gotta edit, add music,
But what if you replied mentally? Like that happens.
Oh, but it doesn't happen like consecutively.
Okay, that's true.
Once in a while.
Okay. If he dated your friend. Yeah. That's a red flag. Yeah. And now he's trying to like. Because then
I'm just like.
But what if it was like okay, you weren't really friends with her, but you know her.
Oh, then no.
No. Oh, you're right? Like, I don't know. I'm asking you.
I've never been in that situation, but if I just like know who she is, then I don't think.
You're like, you know what? You snooze, you lose.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all gonna have some battles to go through.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of another red flag. She's a 10.
Yes, she's a 10, but she drinks alcohol like water.
I don't. Well, I mean, is that a red flag? If she's just having fun, how often does she do this?
Yeah, if it's like an everyday thing or like a weekend thing.
You know what I don't know if this is a red flag, but for me, and maybe I'm just seeing it in like perspective, if she's a good time and whatnot, but she's a sloppy drunk,
ooh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, because then I don't know.
You're like, I don't want to take care. But like,
yeah.
but
What
if
if
you
she-
love
okay.
them.
Well, that's true. What
I'm
if
like,
she's a crier or he's a crier?
Ugh, no, I can't deal with that.
No.
No, because
Why not?
Like, why are you
What-
crying?
What if we're sentimental? We're like, I just need a hug, or like,
I'm just not like that.
No.
So maybe to me, I'd be like, ew.
Guys
I
don't
wouldn't
share their
know how
feelings,
to.
so-
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do. Like if you cried, be like, do you want a shot? Like I don't know
do you
what to
want
do.
a shot?
Like I would just be like, okay. Well.
You're like,
No, I need the shot because you're crying. Because
Oh.
now I have to deal with you crying. But
Oh,
nicely, not in a rude.
we need like a whole episode on red flags.
Yes. We need to
Because-
get everyone in this room. Just pass the mic and.
Yeah, Stephanie, what's one of your red flags?
Yeah. What's red flag?
Stephanie-
She's like Melissa.
Melissa's a red flag. Oh, she's thinking. If yeah, in
Yeah.
general.
And I already said if they're alive, red flag. So I can't say that one.
Yeah. What would be a red? Mujer.
Unfaithful.
Oh, a history of being unfaithful. But what if you're the one that's gonna change that?
But like, do you want to risk it for the biscuit? You know.
I mean, I mean, I don't know. Do you want? Is the biscuit worth it?
We gotta see the biscuit. Yeah, we gotta observe first.
Okay, you know what, you guys.
Anyways, that's it.
Yeah,
Just
we're gonna
kidding.
get back to having fun, but thank y'all. We want to do this.
Thank you.
Oh, I was like talking to the people.
Oh,
in
thank
the-
you.
Yeah.
Sorry, they don't know.
Yeah, no, but thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, I can't see them.
We're
So-
really hungover. Well, I am. She's
I'm not.
She literally got home yesterday. She's like, I'm still sober, you guys. It's not fair.
Yeah, I
then
was
she did a
so
cartwheel.
mad that I was sober because everyone was lit, and I was like, I can't drink more because it's like it's not gonna do anything.
Well, it was already 3 a.m., first of all.
Yeah, and no one was gonna keep drinking. So.
Yeah, everybody was.
Then I
okay.
would have been lit, and no one would have been lit.
Anyways, bye, y'all. See
Yes,
y'all next
bye.
week for the start of the official season
Yes.
of Echale Podcast.